Daylight, my MVVs, welcome. The palace of the Ooni of Ifes is said to have become a war zone as Ògúnjáyé targets guilty people and exposes everything. Like it was the horror of the century, as people were running helter-skelter. And in the palace right now, as we're hearing, people are not sleeping again. Honestly, the palace is no longer a home. It's a war zone with silent, fearful, and cold, drama. Even though the palace is beautiful, filled with light and luxury, the air around it is heavy. There's no laughter, no calm, no peace. People walk on their toe, eyes wide, heart racing. You see servants looking over their shoulder, queen sleeping with lights on. Even the guards, strong trained men, now hold their charm tightly under their clothes, all because of Ògúnjáyé. Ever since that thing entered the palace, it has, humbled everybody. They say it was like it all started late in the night, around 2:30 a.m. Ooni of Ife had not slept. The guard noticed he was walking, alone around, his chamber up there. He has his own guards up there and the ones who are down. He had refused to let any chief priest follow him. He was just doing everything by himself. Okay, Oni has been, under a lot of pressure. They are telling him to bind Ògúnjáyé and all of that, and he says no. Now, as we're hearing what is going on, they said something happened in the palace. Oni had not slept to radio when this whole thing happened. Up there, his personal guard said he has said something that anybody that Ògúnjáyé strikes is going to die. That there's nothing he will do about it because as a king, he has warned them severally to stay away from anything that is evil. If they refuse to heed his advice, there's nothing he can do to help anyone. He was just, going up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. And then that night, they said, people were worried in the palace lately. One thing that has, been with them is worries. Now, apparently, for Kábíyèsí to speak that way, Kábíyèsí had, felt a sign that something was about to happen. And so they said, one Iya that lives inside the palace, the Iya has been living there for a very, very long time. They said they started hearing noise inside that palace. It was almost like as if they fear people were crying. That is in their own flat inside the palace. So people were crying, and it's like fear. They were terrified by something. It's like an energy moving, hovering, making noise. And they said that Ògúnjáyé, if he wants to be wicked to you, he will be sounding like a wild animal. You'll be hearing like maybe a wild animal is inside your house, breathing, okay? And they said it was that bread that was carrying the living daylight out of everybody. They heard that bread and everybody was shouting and all of that. Now, they say when people woke up around 6 a.m. in the morning, they saw a big juju pot in front of that woman's house. They say when the people started screaming, from that time, people were screaming around 5 a.m., 4 a.m. The woman was inside. She didn't know what was making people scream outside too. It was her own children who came and saw that juju pot. And they were shocked. When Mama came, when Iya came and saw the juju pot, Iya immediately started begging, confessing that the juju pot does not belong to her. That it's not her own. That it belonged to somebody. One other woman. That the woman said it was Ikpi who gave her to keep. And they now came and kept it inside your own house. That when she heard that Ògúnjáyé had come, that she started calling them to come and remove that thing. Then themselves, they were afraid of coming to remove it. She was afraid of touching it. So instead of going to go and call or talk to somebody, she didn't say anything. She just kept quiet. She kept it where it was kept, where it was hidden, was where Ògúnjáyé went and brought it outside. Now, and it was even a good thing that they did not try to go and carry that pot, because if they had tried to carry that pot or to do any assignment with that pot, it would have struck them down. They said when this thing happened, Kabiyesi said to them that they should thank their stars that they didn't try to carry that pot, that they would have all died, that they should just thank their stars. They said that was how that Ògúnjáyé brought that pot out, disgraced and exposed them. Now, what the pot was meant for, if it was meant for Naomi or anybody, nobody knows up until now, until the information will come. Maybe the people who are responsible will go and tell Kabiyesi what it was meant for. But for now, they said Ògúnjáyé just exposed the pot, dug it, and brought it from where they kept it to the front of that woman's house. I'm going to bring you more update. Do not forget that these are all alleged rumors, unverified information making the rounds on social media and should not be seen as fact.